All right, what is going on, you guys? So today's stream is going to be a little bit different. Usually I sit here and talk about things, but today I want to go through my workflow. So I'm kind of going to show you guys how I edit my drone videos. Now, if you guys are watching this after the fact, after I'm done streaming, this was a stream. I'm going to be answering some questions here and there, although it's going to be tough to kind of do my editing and then also look off the Q&A. So in this video, I guess, guys, just kind of look for some of the tips that I give you guys as I edit, some things that I look out for. I'm not going to do any crazy transitions, nothing like that. Sometimes when I edit my videos, or I guess most of the time when I edit my drone videos, I like to kind of have the shots speak for itself. Like, all those crazy transitions are really cool to do, although they're a lot easier to make when you're shooting on the ground. Drone videos, or like drone only videos, are a little bit more tough. So there are a few things I want to talk about before I get into it here. First of all, I haven't uploaded this entire week. In fact, the last video that was technically uploaded to my channel was my last stream, last Sunday. I've been moving in. My girlfriend was here down from Connecticut visiting this week, so I was a little bit busy, just hanging out with her, and also kind of just putting my apartment together. I had to build a lot of furniture. IKEA furniture is really frustrating to put together. Let's see. Drone Wolf Media, congrats on hitting 40K BK. Thank you. Yeah, guys, so I just hit 40K. Pretty cool. I've got like a 40K like video coming out tomorrow for you guys. And I got a haircut, but I shot that earlier, so you're going to see in this video I've got a haircut, but in that video I'm still going to have long hair. But anyway, that's the first thing. Sorry for not uploading, and from now on I'll try to upload every other day for you guys. Also, some people are saying to me, like, are you going to have a show tonight? Or like, are you going to be having a show on Sunday night? This isn't a show. This is more of like a hangout. Again, just being able to talk to you guys, interact. And I don't know, like, if other people seem, or if other people think that this is a show, then that's cool. But this is more of just like a hangout. It's pretty informal, just hanging out, talking to you guys. Again, sometimes I might not stream. In fact, next week I won't be able to stream. So we're going to go 1 week with no streaming, but it's not a show. Also, as I edit, I'm going to like kind of have you guys listen to the music and all of that stuff through my computer speakers, and then it's going to go through my microphone. For some reason, it just wouldn't let me like port in the desktop audio, so it's going to sound a little bit like muffled. It's just because it's playing from my computer speakers, and then you guys are going to hear it through the microphone. I'm guessing, since no one has really brought anything up, that all of everything is good, the stream, the audio, the video. Ron says, great show, Billy, after I said it's not a show. But I guess we'll just get into things here. Again, this is going to be everything that I kind of go through as I edit a drone video. So whenever I take like a trip, I always try to compile all of the drone footage into one video. Sometimes sort of like a vlog style, like I'll explain where I'm at, what I'm doing in the beginning of the video. And then from there, I'll just show a bunch of drone footage. I'll try to get the best video possible. Take some pictures too to post on Instagram and stuff like that. But above all, my main priority is adding the drone footage to a really cool song in the video, like music that fits the actual video itself. So if I'm at a beach, I try to get some beachy music. It can be tough, but if you do the right looking, that's going to really improve your video. I feel like, actually, when you guys see, I'm going to be building my entire video around the music. You guys will see what I mean. Also, I just want to say thank you guys. Last week, I hit 100 concurrent viewers on the stream. That's awesome, a huge milestone. Right now, looks like we've got about 61 people watching, although if I can go into here, I don't even know where to see this stuff, man. But last week we got 100 concurrent viewers, so that was awesome. Now I'm going to switch over here so that you guys can see my desktop. I've rigged it up so you can still see me as a little box in the corner. But right here, the first thing I want to go over, like the first step of my workflow, is to find a song. I like to compile a bunch of songs into a folder, and I'm going to show you guys some of the sources I use. I literally use actual like YouTube videos or YouTube to find my songs. So I like to get my song first so I can kind of get the shots according to how the song plays out. I don't know if other people actually do it this way, but I am a big fan of it. I like to have the song, I like to listen to it a bunch of times before I do the edit, before I even shoot the video, and then from there I kind of get a feel for what I need. So I'll show you guys quickly some of these different sources that I use here on YouTube. First of all is Mr. Suicide Sheep. Pretty big music channel. They got about 9 million subscribers, which is crazy for a music channel. The thing with this is most of the songs on this channel are copyrighted, which kind of sucks. You know, I'll deal with a copyright strike, not a copyright strike, but like a copyright claim. To be honest, at the end of the day, I'm not in it for the money, and I'd love to be able to put together a video with a really good song. Sometimes I'll go and, you know, upload it to YouTube first and make sure it's not copyrighted, and then I'll start the edit so that I don't like start the edit, find out it's copyrighted, then have to totally restart. But Mr. Suicide Sheep is a great channel. Again, 9 million subscribers. They post like a video almost, or I'm sorry, a song almost every single day. And it's just all about sifting through the channel itself, because sometimes you'll get some like music that just totally doesn't fit the vibe at all. Sometimes there's lyrics in it. I like to stay away from videos or music with any lyrics in it. So this is my like #1 stop. But he actually also has another channel called Suicide Sheep, although this one doesn't have Mr. in the front, and it also has 3 E's. Wenope, I use Final Cut Pro. That's what we're going to be using in a little bit here, Final Cut Pro. But anyway, this is the next channel that I use, Suicide Sheep. 1 million subscribers. It's like his second channel, I guess, and this is free music. Most of it's free music. Sometimes I'll go to download it, and then when I go and actually put in my video, it's copyright, which kind of sucks. Also, just really quickly, if you guys can see here, you look like under the uploads tab, it says enjoy, download, download, download. So all the download links are usually in the description. If it's copyrighted, it's probably going to be a little bit harder to get a hold of. Sometimes I just use like 4K YouTube video downloader. It's a software you can download through your computer. I know that it is frowned upon. I know that YouTube actually doesn't allow like the downloading of other people's videos. This is kind of a workaround of it, but I found that that's the best way to get songs for free, use them in the video. And if you guys ever use a song, be sure to give that person some sort of credit. Make sure, you know, say this was the music I used, the artist, and also the song name. I find that that's the best way to do it. So I would say that this one right here, Suicide Sheep, and also Mr. Suicide Sheep, both of these are probably the best bet. Next up, check Vibe Sound. It's hit or miss. Sometimes it's copyrighted, sometimes it's not. This is another good one. Next one, Proximity, pretty big channel, again about 6 million subscribers. Most of this stuff is going to be copyright, which again sucks, but they post some pretty good music. They also have Proximity Chill. This seems to be a new channel that they came up with. It's chill music, perfect to fit any sort of drone video, and I haven't really checked this out all that much, but I kind of put this up here just because some of the songs I've heard on here have been good, so I figured I'd recommend it as a source. Next up is Chill Trap. Again, this is more miss than hit, although it's a good subscribe. I've subscribed to them. I listen to some of the songs, and sometimes you can find some hidden gems on there. Next up, No Copyright Sounds. I figured I had to throw this in there. They're like one of the largest music channels. You can find some pretty good music on here, and of course, no copyright, so that's always a plus. Finally, Trap Nation. 19 million subscribers. Pretty huge channel. Again, most of the stuff on here is going to be copyrighted. Some of the stuff is a little bit too hardcore for like a drone YouTube video, but honestly, this is again another good source. So that's all for the music. Let's see if anybody is asking anything about the music. Doesn't seem like anyone's asking. Pretty straightforward. Those are like the sources that I use. Again, I'll just go through them. It's Mr. Suicide Sheep, mostly copyrighted. Suicide Sheep, mostly free. Check Vibe Sound, hit or miss, it's like 50-50. Next one, Proximity, mostly copyrighted. Proximity Chill, I think mostly copyrighted. I would assume mostly copyrighted. Next up, Chill Trap. Again, it's a 50-50 about. No copyright sounds, totally free. All of them, no copyright. And then Trap Nation, mostly copyright material. So those are the sources that I use. I've already got a song picked out for this sort of little edit that I'm going to make for you guys. I've got like 4 clips I'm going to throw together. It's something that I shot for a video for school, so I figured I'd just share with you guys some of that footage. So that's first off. We're going to get the song. I've already got the song, so I'm just going to minimize this tab. And I'm going to pull up Final Cut Pro. No, sorry. We're not going to get into the editing yet because we don't even have the footage. So next up, of course, I've got my SD card. This is where all of the files are stored. I like to plug it in into the little dock that I've got here because obviously, they don't like to give you the micro SD card slot on the MacBook Pro. So anyway, what we're going to do is make a brand new folder. So I shot all this footage in Philadelphia, and I have a huge travel archive where I basically name it where I went, like the city, right? So this was Philadelphia. Oops, I totally misspelled that. Philadelphia, I hope that's right. I think it's right. Okay, Philadelphia, and then the year after that. So Philadelphia 2018. Now, within here, within this folder, I like to double-click, open it, and I go and I try to make different folders for the different cameras that I shoot with. I got this method from Peter McKinnon. I looked at his video about backing up his files, absolutely loved it, made it my own. So it's kind of a copy off of his, but again, I kind of made it my own. So Philadelphia 2018, and then from here I'm going to name it DJI Phantom 4 Pro. So now I've got a folder for all of my Phantom 4 Pro footage. I like to make another folder called edits, so any edits that I make I throw inside of this folder right here. And then let's say maybe I was vlogging, I'll also make a folder called Panasonic G7 because that is the camera that I use to vlog, although I've got no footage from that. So right now I've got the DJI Phantom 4 Pro. I'm going to go down into my micro SD card, open it up in a brand new tab. We're going to just go ahead and copy all this footage over to the hard drive. Now, I never like editing from off of the SD card itself just because you seem to get slower speeds. If you edit from the hard drive on the actual computer itself, the SSD, in my case, it's going to be blazing fast. You'll be able to render really quickly. You'll be able to export really quickly. All of this stuff, I mean, it just works better, honestly. So I'd recommend always taking your footage and copying it over to your hard drive, which seems like it's taking about another minute. So I'll go ahead and check some of your guys' chats. Drone Wolf Media says, I use epidemic.com for music. Yeah, so you guys can always use a music service. They've got some great music as well. I don't belong to one. I can't go and like recommend any of them just because I don't use them. But there's always some music services out there. I've heard of Epidemic a lot. It seems to be a pretty good one. I think most people use that. Let's see. Yeah, the copyright owner can put commercials on the video. Yeah, so if you guys ever get hit by like a copyright claim, not a strike, usually all of the money made from that video will go to the brand or to the label that submits the copyright claim onto the song. You're not going to get hit with the strike, but you don't get any money. So it's kind of like a toss-up. But basically they own that video, which sucks because I feel like the music, okay, so the music is a big part of the video, but at the end of the day, it's like all my footage, all my video, so, oh well. Let's see. Yeah, he says they usually just let the video stay up, and if it becomes popular, they will take the money. So that sucks that they make the money, but oh well. So it looks like all of the videos have copied over. I've got about 6 different shots here, although I think that some of them were redos. So now from here, I've got all the video on my computer, and the next step is to open up the editing software. The editing software of my choice is Final Cut Pro. I know a lot of people probably use Premiere Pro over Final Cut Pro, but just from experience, just from like what I like to use and you know, overall functionality, I think that Final Cut Pro is perfect. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a new event. I'm going to call this, I guess, like Philly 2018, nothing pretty special. Oh yeah, and by the way, I usually just let it create an event for me, 4K. I shoot in 4K, I like to upload in 4K. You can go ahead and click on the project, look over here on the right side of the screen, and you'll be able to see the dimensions, the resolution, and also the frame rate. I like to upload in 30 FPS. 60 FPS looks awesome, although it's only available on Chrome on the desktop at this moment, so I usually like to just upload in 4K at 30 frames per second. So now the next step is to again open up that Finder window, go ahead and drag in those files, and now we're pretty much ready to work. I also want to actually add in the music, which I'll play for you guys really quickly. You guys can get kind of a feel for the music that I'm going for here. So let's see, this is the song right here that I'm going to be using, and if I click play, it'll start to play, which you guys should be able to hear through the laptop. I'm going to skip really quickly to the part that I'm going to use, and you guys can get a feel for it. Alright, so you guys basically get the idea. Sorry, I'm a little bit sick. I've been like sick for 3 months, I swear. Okay, anyway, so this is the music that I'm going to be using. As you guys saw, it was kind of like chill, mellow for about maybe 6 or 7 seconds, and from there we got sort of like a drop, like we heard the music start to pick up a little bit. So usually what I like to do in the beginning is start off with really soft music, have something that really doesn't look all that nice, right? Like, so you guys will see what I mean. It's going to be like nothing special, like, okay, what is going to happen? And then like, boom, something changes and the video's just like got you grabbed in. So the first thing I'm going to do is drag this into Final Cut Pro. Now we've got the 6 clips that we want to work with and also the music track. So what I like to do again is edit around the music. So the first thing I'll do is drag that music down into the timeline, and you can collect, or actually, you know what, let's get rid of the effects real quick. Let's say if we're accidentally like zoomed in here, we can hit Shift Z, and that's going to pretty much snap everything to a full view. You guys will see what I mean in a second, but it kind of like condenses everything, makes it all organized on your screen, and I'm actually trying to look through my webcam right now at the screen, so it's going going to be a little bit tough here. So anyway, now I want to try to find that spot that I was actually editing, or that I was planning to use to edit this video, which is right around here. So I'm just going to hit Command B, the blade tool, to get rid of this front area. And now I think I've got what I want right here. Maybe just a little bit more. So right here seems like a good, oops, oh man, that was a total failure. Hold on one sec. Alright, so right here seems to be a good spot. Let's just check one more time. Sorry. Maybe we'll listen for that first, like, beat right there. Maybe just a little bit more. I'm really meticulous about how the video starts. Like, I'm really nitpicky about this stuff. It's kind of bad. I'm going to start it actually right there, and I'm going to sort of fade the audio in. So now that I've got the main audio laid out here, I'm going to hit Shift-Z again, and it's going to pretty much expand to the full length of our timeline. Let's see what anybody else is saying. May want to move your mic. It gives a thud every time you make a keystroke. Okay, I'll move my mic back a little bit. Sorry about the thud. I'll try to be a little bit more careful with the mouse. So here we are going to start from the beginning, and now what we do is listen to the entire thing and we add markers. Now this can be easily done through Final Cut Pro by watching the video, basically clicking play, and then from here hitting M wherever you want to place a marker. So I usually listen to it back. I listen to it first. I think I got a pretty good feel for the music right now, and then every single time that I want a frame to switch, or every time there's some sort of beat drop that I can add a different shot in there, I usually hit M, and then from there I choose what flows best. So we're going to listen to this very beginning part, and then we're going to click M every single time we want the frame to switch, or the shot to switch. So now we'll do that. Alright, so I've laid out a pretty good amount of markers here. It's definitely a lot more than I need. Some of these shots are going to be a little bit longer than usual. I try to make long drone shots, a little bit more complexity, some different stick movements, different gimbal movements. So again, I like to have longer drone shots that show more complexity. So this is perfect. Again, I've got this sort of build up in the beginning, and then it changes immediately. So the clip that I know I want to use, again, I was thinking about, of course I wasn't thinking about this because this is old footage, but as I'm sort of shooting, I think about what will fit with the music, and I know that this shot right here will fit perfectly with the music. Now, I don't know if you guys saw this video I posted on Twitter. I posted this exact clip. I start here as I'm coming across this waterfall along the Schuylkill River, and I sort of bring the drone around over the waterfall, and then you see the city. Pretty cool. But if you guys continue to watch the video, I was totally oblivious to this, and big mess up on my part, but I came so close to this crane in the middle of the screen. I just remember looking down at my remote controller, continuing to fly to the left. I wanted to make sure I kept the art museum as well as all of the all the buildings in the background. So I was watching the screen, making sure everything looked fine, and I saw this come across my screen and I lost my mind. Now right now it doesn't look like I'm that close to the crane, but when I was looking at it on my screen, I almost dropped the remote controller. I just kept going. I wanted to get away from that crane because it was moving around. So anyway, so now what we've got is we've got this first clip. This is what I want to use, and this is kind of going to be the building up part. I've got the waterfall here, and as soon as that beat drops, I want it to go to about right here when you see all of the city. So we're going to leave a marker here again by hitting M. And guys, after I put all of these markers down on the video or on the audio track, the music that we're going to be using, it's basically just drop the videos down, and from there, it's just really easy. So what we're going to do, start here, drag across, and now we can just pretty much bring this down and extend forward. So now let's quickly listen to this, watch this, and see how it looks. Alright, so I noticed that my camera is still actually moving at the time of, it's sort of like still moving to the right, so if we play this, it's like still moving as the beat drops. I want it to be a little bit more still, so like right about, I would say like right about here is where the camera becomes still, so we're going to mark that. We're going to bring this clip a little bit forward so we can drag this back. Now let's check out just the beat drop, just to make sure it sounds good. I think it's a little bit better, although I'm going to move it a little bit forward. See how that sounds. Alright, so I messed up. I actually wanted to bring it the other way. Bring it a little bit this way. I think that's pretty good just for example's sake. So right now, we've got our beginning. I'll delete these markers just because they kind of annoy me after the fact. But anyway, it's going to bring us around. It's kind of this mellow music again, and then it's kind of like boring. Like just looking at this waterfall, like it might be cool, but then as soon as we get around to the city, it's kind of like, okay, this is sweet. So I kind of wanted to leave this clip going for probably about like 10-ish seconds. So I'm going to drag it all the way out to this second drop right here, although having this crane come in at the very last second, it's kind of like very abrupt. So I might just cut this one short really quickly, just open up with a nice short shot. Do a little blade tool there, delete that. So now this is what we've got so far. Alright, so as you guys can see, that was pretty cool. On this beat drop right here where I placed the marker, we're going to put another clip, although I don't really know what I want to put. I shot a couple of different things here. Maybe, we'll save the art museum at the end. We'll put something from Boathouse Row. I flew over Boathouse Row. I'm just trying to think about, I feel like right here would be a cool spot to put in, like right about there, I would say, just because you can see the logo. It's a pen. So we're going to start it maybe about like right here so the pen logo comes into view. Drag it out and we'll just bring it down. So it looks like we've got a clip here that's probably about 3 seconds long. I'd like to make this video a little bit longer than just like a quick 40 seconds. So I'm going to drag this out to about 10 seconds here. And let's quickly see this portion that we've added. You know, we're actually going to cut that one a little bit short as well. We're going to do 2 short clips just because I like to fill the rest of this area right here that I'm dragging along with a 10-second clip. And then as soon as this little beat drop hits, which is a little bit more aggressive, I want to open up with a brand new shot. So let's see. I guess next we could do just the art museum. I did a little point of interest shot around the art museum. So this was actually a full point of interest of the front of the art museum, so we could use this little bit in the beginning as a shot, and then once I bring it all the way around here, right to about here, this is another great shot, so we'll use this as its own separate shot. So in the beginning, we'll start it off right about here. Now you'll notice in this video, I didn't actually end up using this video in the video I uploaded. I had some gimbal problems. The gimbal was like going haywire. Let's see if you guys can actually see it, which by the way, I'm kind of viewing this here on my iPad. And if you guys are seeing any sort of lag as I go through, it's because it's through the video editor. I'm seeing the lag as well. So once I export this, you guys should be able to watch this crisp and clean. Also, I'm streaming and editing from the same machine, so it could be one of those factors. Really quickly before I go through, I just want to watch or look over some of your guys' comments here. I look over my video sources, quick review, then find music on audiobooks to fit the mood, review set, then I always edit to the music. Yeah, so Dennis, I myself like to kind of watch the music first, listen to the music a lot before I edit, just so I can get a good feel for it. And again, these markers help a lot. I know that markers are in like any video editor that you use, so whether you use Final Cut, Whether you use Premiere, whether you use HitFilm, anything that you guys use, always add those markers in, and editing is going to be a lot easier, especially for these simple drone edits. Dennis says, to me, the only reason for shooting 60 FPS is so that you can do 50% slow motion. 60 FPS and 30 FPS look the same on YouTube. No need for all the extra information taking up upload time. Yeah, I agree. I always like to shoot in 60 FPS for this specific video clips, or these clips that I shot. I actually shot in 30 frames per second. But being able to shoot in 60 FPS and kind of export it in either a slowed down version or a just fast regular version of 30 frames per second, I like that a lot. So I always shoot in 60 FPS. Raheem says, what ND filter did you use? I'm pretty sure I just used an ND8 filter. Whenever I'm shooting with the Phantom 4 Pro, I always use basically an ND8, and then from there adjust using my aperture, just to kind of hone in or really, dial in that exposure. So now let's watch a little bit of what we have of this next clip. We'll start it from the beat drop, I guess, in the beginning. I don't know if you guys could see that, those little twitches. That was from the gimbal. It was really annoying. I was flying into pretty high winds. Going in sport mode, I was pushing the throttle all the way. Going in sport mode in this point of interest. And again, it just still couldn't cut through the wind. I'm going to leave it just because, again, this is like an example. But usually, if this ever happened, I would just delete the clip. I wouldn't even use it. So let's just keep going. Alright, so again, we heard that beat drop. The beat changes a little bit differently, so now I want to do a totally different shot. And this is like one of my favorite shots to get, coming up the Schuylkill River here, and then kind of increasing my altitude a little bit and being able to see the entire city. So I'm going to start off here with me coming down the Schuylkill, so you can kind of see the city in the background. Probably do a little short clip here for about 5 seconds. Shrink that down so it fits in between those two markers, and let's see what this looks like. Then something I like to do is sort of have this like shot where I'm far away and I'm moving closer, and then I find the part where I sort of start like tilting the camera down, which is about right here, and I'll pick it up from here, and then I'll do a longer clip, probably about 10 seconds or 9 seconds, whatever it ends up being. Throw it in here, shrink it down. Now let's see what that looks like. Alright, so that's looking pretty good. I don't know if you guys can see what I mean here, but it's like you can see the city in the background here. You can see some of the different highways, the art museum, of course, all the trees and everything like that. And then once that beat hits, it's like you get even closer to it. I would like to probably get a little bit closer, although at this point in time I was flying further away than I would have liked to be, or in such a crowded area. So what I usually do is start like further back, and then my next frame jump really close. And also what you want to make sure is that it's like proportional, so you can see it's right in the middle of my video here. I go forward and it's still right there in the middle, so it looks like we're jumping. Whereas if I were to cut it like say right here, or maybe I'll look up here. Let's say if I were to cut it like right here, it would look different because the skyline would be higher, and we could crop a little bit to fix that. Although I think that what I've got here is pretty good, again, just for example purposes. It looks like I'm almost running out of markers here, so I'm going to listen through and add some more really quickly. Okay, so that should be good to finish off this video. Again, we're sitting at about 48 seconds here, which I like to keep my videos like a little bit under 3 minutes. I feel like that's the sweet spot. Although if I've got like a big video, big trip, something like that, I'll probably make it a little bit longer. But I think 3 minutes is perfect. So again, we already used this clip. This is actually the clip where I messed up. I ended up coming a little bit too far to the right, so I just stopped my recording. Let's see. So I guess maybe what we can do is go back to this clip at the end where we sort of see the skyline, and this clip, in my opinion, is probably one of the favorite ones, my favorite ones that I've shot. So we're gonna make it a little bit longer, 9 seconds again. I feel like if you edit too quickly, oh god, that was a really bad voice crack. If you edit too quickly, like sometimes people are like, oh, I wish I could see a little bit more of the footage. So again, I like to keep it about 10 seconds per clip. That seems to be perfect. Let's see. Morgan C, how do you add markers in Premiere? Morgan C is asking how to add markers in Premiere. I would guess just M. I really haven't used Premiere all that much. So if anyone uses, someone actually just responded to him. Yeah, so press M at the point where you want the marker. So if you guys are using a keyboard, just hit M and you should be able to lay a marker, honestly, in any program you guys are using. Let's see. So it looks like we've got about 54 people watching. Again, I know that this is going to be sort of like a topic that's very specific, so I didn't really expect to get many people watching today, but thank you to all of you guys that are in here. I just want to try to refresh the page here on my iPad. But so far what we've got is about let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. I would count these as the same clip, so 4, 5 different shots, which is a pretty good variety of shot selection. I would think that that's probably where I want to end the video, and it's sort of like a really abrupt ending, which sucks. That it's so abrupt. I'd like to sort of have something like the drone coming down or the drone fading away, or maybe even, you know, the drone landing, something to like satisfy the viewer that the video is ending, or that the edit is ending. So I don't have anything in this video here to kind of like show that. I'm just trying to think of what I can do. I mean, maybe what I can do, I don't like to do this just because there's so much movement, especially with the cars, but maybe I can sort of like grab this clip, throw it down here for about 5 seconds, keep it short. I'm going to hit Command R. This allows me to retime the clip, and from here I'll do a little drop down, hit custom, and now I can do reverse. So I'm going to be able to reverse the clip. It sort of shows, instead of me like flying into Philadelphia, like instead of me flying my drone towards the building, it's now going to show the drone sort of flying away from Philadelphia. That seems to be a pretty good closing. So that's basically it as far as this little edit. I'm going to bring the audio back down so that it doesn't go on any longer than it has to, although actually I might leave it just a little bit longer than it should be. I'm peeking over the webcam here. A little bit longer than it should be. And then I want to grab those audio waves. Oh god, this is a real struggle. I want to grab those audio waves, bring them up so that the music fades at the end, like this. So at the end it comes to a fade, and then also I'm going to head into my transitions. I'm going to grab a fade to color, throw it on the end of here. And for some reason, if you're never editing video in like the main timeline in the middle, it adds the, what's it called, the transition here to the front and the back. So make sure you delete that first one. I'm going to drag this up a little bit, probably to where the audio starts to fade out. And then I also, if you notice here, it gets black really quickly. So I'm going to click towards the end to view it. I'm going to, let's see, look at the properties, and from here mess around with the midpoint and the hold, just to make sure that it goes all the way to the end. And so here, that looks about good right there. Now, when I actually watch the video back, it's going to take longer to fade to black as the music fades out as well. It's going to stay black for a second and then cut off. So we're going to let this render out really quickly. Let's see if anybody's got anything that they're saying. You should zoom out as you approach the city in that clip, vertigo effect. Oh, okay, so as you approach the city in that clip, you should zoom out. That would be pretty cool. That's like a dolly effect almost. So as we're moving towards the city, we're going to add a crop. So I'm actually going to do that. I think that that's a pretty cool idea. And I'm going to do it. Maybe I don't know if I'm going to exactly like it. So let's see. We're going to try this out. So I'm going to stop to the very beginning of this clip here. Mute the audio so you can't hear it. So that's the beginning of the clip here. And what I'm going to do is transform it, and I'll add a keyframe. And I'm going to zoom in. Actually, you know what? All right. So I added the keyframe in the beginning, and then at the end of the clip, I'm going to transform it and add yet another keyframe. So now there's keyframes at the front and the end. And what I want to do is in the beginning, we're going to crop it in some. So maybe about to here. So now let's see how this looks. Actually, really quickly, I'm just going to let this render just because it's going to be super choppy playing back. It should only take like a second to render. Learning editing on LumaFusion. Any comments on the tip? That's what Troy asks. Troy, I have no experience with LumaFusion. If anybody else has any experience with LumaFusion, go ahead and shoot shoot Troy a quick chat if you can. But let's see, who recommended? Let's see, somebody where. Okay, yeah. So Eli is the one that recommended the vertigo effect or the dolly zoom. So let's check this out. We're gonna start here. Play some of the music. That's really cool. So if you guys can see through that effect, I'm kind of going to drag here quickly. The city continues to get bigger and bigger and bigger and smaller, but it seems like I'm staying in the same place. I love that effect. I've used it in a couple of other videos that I've shot, but it kind of gets messed up in the middle just because it seems like my camera shakes a little bit. Again, when I was shooting this video, it was so windy outside. So this is basically the full edit that I've got, and now it's time to do some color grading, which unfortunately for some reason the one color grade I ended up always using never saved. So you go into your effects here, and under search, what I usually just name this as is saturation bump. This is like the preset that I use. It's nothing really all that special, so I'll throw that on here. It seems to do the trick if we want to like check it out now and then check it out before. So this is before right here, and then this is afterwards. It sort of adds a little bit more saturation to the actual clip itself. I usually use a different effect, although I accidentally deleted it. I'm going to have to totally remake that preset. But usually what I do is just take that saturation bump, I copy it from this clip by hitting Command-C, I select all of the other clips, Command-Shift-V. Oops, I don't want to select the, actually, you know what, for some reason it won't let me select the ending one just because it's a different. So I'm going to select all of these ones, Command-Shift-V, and from here we can pretty much copy and paste the different settings done to each of the video clips. So right now, oops, sorry, touched the microphone. I've got my color board one, that's the saturation bump, paste, and then I'll choose this one at the end by itself. Oops, I accidentally hit the bleed. So again, Command-Shift, I hit it again, man. Alright, I'm really messing up here. Command-Shift-V, color board, paste. So now I've got the pretty much same color correction going on throughout the entire video. This was all taken within the same like 10 minutes. It was cloudy out the entire day. I don't think I'm gonna have to do much tweaking throughout these clips. What I like to do is start off with this base correction, and then from there continue to kind of play around with the color board, which up here can be accessed by, it's actually right here, the color board. So you can select the color, the saturation, the exposure. But I think that this is perfect. I don't want to overdo the the effect too much. I think that what I've got going here is pretty good. I've got the ending again. Maybe, all right. You know what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to take this clip and I'm going to paste it onto the front. The fade to color, just so it kind of fades in the beginning. I'm going to totally switch the midpoint and hold just because it's now at the beginning. Actually, no, sorry, I don't want to switch the hold. I still want to bring the hold down. So now I've got the fade to color in the beginning. It's kind of going to fade open. Another thing that I like to do is actually edit the clips and make sure that all of the horizons are straight. That's like the one thing that throws me off from a video is I'll see a great edited drone video. I'll see like some beautiful shots, great color grading, great music, but the one thing that can totally throw it off and totally mess it up is, oops, I hit the mic again, is a crooked horizon. So I usually like to scan through this one. There's really no horizon. This one, it seems that the horizon is pretty good. What's going to mask the horizon in this video is all of the buildings. The buildings will usually give you the illusion of being a straight horizon. So I think that everything I've got here is basically good. I think that I did some tweaking on the actual gimbal settings. So this is what we've got right now. I'm going to let this render out, and then I'm going to let it export, and then at the end we're going to watch it. And I don't have the power of video editing, so I can't just cut that out. So right now I'll do some quick Q&A questions. Just go ahead and check out what you guys are saying. Melvin says, Billy, what is the max wind speed to be flying your Phantom 4 Pro? Melvin, alright, so I've flown my drone in like 40-mile-an-hour winds. You know what, really quickly, sorry. I'm going to head over to OBS really quickly so that you guys can see my full face. I've flown my drone in some pretty high winds before, like 30 miles an hour. We were actually preparing for a pretty big storm at Ocean City. I flew the drone anyway. In sport mode, you can cut through the wind, although don't get too far away in that high of winds, because if you have to make it back and you've got barely any battery, it can be tough to cut through and fight through the wind. So 30 miles an hour, if you're going to stay close, local, have some fun. It is kind of fun to fly in these high winds. But I saw somebody said, Let's see. So Drone Wolf Media says, I try to stay below 15 miles per hour with my Phantom 4 Pro. It can handle more, but it's not always consistent. That is true. It's not always consistent. And also, the wind is never consistent. Like, the gusts that come through can be stronger than what the app actually says. The best way to get a reading for the wind speed is by using an anemometer. And what this allows you to do, is basically test the wind speed at the exact time. So it's got a little fan on it, the wind blows through it, and it gives you a reading as far as how fast the wind is blowing. Now, you can't tell how fast the wind is blowing up by your drone, but it does give you a really accurate reading there on the ground. So that's pretty cool. If you guys want to check it out, just type in anemometer over on Amazon and it will pop up. Tech Reviewer 44, sorry I missed most of this. Tech Reviewer, no problem. Tech Reviewer 44 also says, do you use LUTs? I haven't experienced, or I haven't tried LUTs. I usually never really color grade my videos all that much. I like to keep everything like as natural as possible, never like an oversaturation, never like a dirty like grunge or grainy look on my videos. I've always wanted to try and test some of that out, although I don't think that Final Cut Pro is really the best application to do any color grading. I definitely need to do some more research there. That's kind of where my videos lack, in my opinion. I think that, shot selection, music is all to the best of my ability, the best that I can do, but I would definitely like to kind of get some more practice in the area of color grading. What kind of hardware do you need to run it as smoothly as you are? All right, so Mickey GC, I've got like a spec'd out MacBook Pro here. So really quickly, I'll shoot you back over to this screen so you guys can see my screen, and I'll really quickly pull up about this Mac, put it up here for you guys. So I'm running High Sierra, most up-to-date version of Mac OS. I've got the MacBook Pro 15-inch, the late 2017 model. I got this thing in around September, October. The processor, 3.1 gigahertz, Core i7. The memory is 16 gigabytes. People are saying that the audio video sync is way off. It doesn't seem like anybody else is saying that the video sync is off. So if anybody else thinks that there's a problem, let me know. I'll try to correct it. So here again, processor 3.1 gigahertz, Intel Core i7, 16 gigabytes of RAM, and the graphics card is a Radeon Pro 560. So this thing is like spec to the max. It's got a 2 terabyte hard drive. That's why I like to edit off of the hard drive and store my files off on another drive. Yeah, that's pretty much what I've got going on here in terms of specs. If any of you guys are wondering, the video fully finished rendering. I like to usually let this full video finish rendering, and it'll kind of show like a little line up here where the timestamps are. And I let it finish rendering, and then from here I'll hit Command E to export it. Usually I watch it over like a lot through the through Final Cut Pro just to make sure everything is looking perfect. But just for time's sake, I think I've been streaming here for a pretty good amount of time. Just for time's sake, what I'm going to do is export this video now, and we'll watch it once it's finished exporting. So I will throw this in the Philadelphia 2018 edits. I'm going to call this quick drone. Oops. I'm going to call this quick drone edit. Boom. Save. And now it should export probably within like 2 or 3 minutes. So we're going to sit here. We're going to wait. Again, I'm going to go ahead. Oh, God. Okay, so everyone is saying... Okay. Everyone is saying it's way off. Now everyone is saying that it's better. Maybe it was way off because it was rendering. The actual video was rendering like in the background. And right now the video is exporting, so it might get thrown off again. That would really sucks. Oh, people are saying that it works well when I'm in the corner. Okay, so I'll stay down here in the corner. Yeah, Coast to Coast Drones, Bill. It was definitely because of the render. So right now we're exporting. This is actually taking a lot quicker than I thought. Again, streaming, rendering, exporting, all this stuff is like crazy. So right now it's exporting really quickly. Again, this is a big part of your video. Find a thumbnail. So going throughout here, I want to find some sort of like cool thumbnail. I think that probably in the very beginning, actually, you know what? We're going to go to this. Where's that clip? It was this clip right here. I think that this like shot right here is awesome. Perfect for a thumbnail. Usually what I try to do is take actual pictures with my drone for a thumbnail. I never like to grab a screen grab, although sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. To take a screenshot on the Mac is Command-Shift-4, and then you can select like an area, like I could do that, boom. So, but I don't like doing that. That's not going to give you the highest quality possible. So within Final Cut Pro, if you guys use Final Cut Pro, in order to actually export this frame right here, like this current frame, we're going to go to the top right where the share button is, click share, and then we're going to hit save current frame. So whatever's in the frame, whatever's in the viewfinder, that's what's going to export. So this is good. We're going to export it, and I will call this thumb. That is my thumb right there. Boom, save. I'll leave it in the edits just because it's technically an edit. It wasn't really shot by any camera. So it looks like the video is rendered, the video is exported, and now my thumbnail has exported. Now the one thing that's really going to drive you guys crazy and me crazy is that that exported image is going to be way too large of a file size. The exported frame, that's what I'm talking about. It's going to be way too large to upload to YouTube. So what I like to do is open up my little thumbnail template. Let's see. Whoops, man, that is an old thumbnail. So there, thumbnail template. It finally popped up through Photoshop. That's what I'm going to be using here. It's opening up on my other screen really quickly. Oh, actually it opened up here. Cool. Okay, so this is my thumbnail template. You guys can see down here I've got like a little thing for like a DJI goggles firmware update. I've got a thing for like a DJI Go update. I've got a little folder for like an Inspire 2 update, although I don't have an Inspire 2 yet, although maybe this is like a little teaser. I've got one for BK Live here. I can put my little face over here for these thumbnails. So this is what I use. This is just a simple 1280 by 720 canvas, I guess, or file. It's going to make it small enough to the point where it looks good as a thumbnail, and also you can actually use it as your thumbnail. So I guess right now we are going to... okay, so now this is just black. It's pretty much blank. So what we need to do is open up our Finder. And I'm going to center that on the screen. And going into, where did I put that? Desktop, Philadelphia, edits, thumbnail. So this is our thumbnail. Again, that is 43 megabytes. I'm pretty sure that YouTube only allows 2 megabytes. So we'll drag that on, and we will put it in here. And it seems to be a little bit like too big for thumbnails. Thumbnails are always pretty small, so I might just zoom in a little bit on it just to kind of catch people's attention. So there we are. That's that. I'm going to hit Command Shift Save because that's my template. Now I want to actually save the thumbnail. So we'll go back to my desktop, Philadelphia 2018, and just I guess within edits we'll change this thumbnail. So now the thumbnail is saved within my Philadelphia folder. Again, we'll hit Command Shift Save, and this time we're going to save it as a JPEG because with the JPEG we can kind of edit the save options, which are actually on my other screen. So these are the save options. Right now it looks like with the maximum quality 12, it's going to give me a 1.3 megabyte file size. Perfect. Hit OK, save that, everything is done, and now all we need to do is open up our Safari. I'll put that up here. And now we've got the finished video. We've got the finished video, finished thumbnail, everything is ready to go. I'll give it a watch over once I'm totally edited, once it's totally been exported, all of that stuff. But just for the sake of this video, we're just going to go ahead, say screw it, upload it. We go to YouTube, of course. We go, yeah, let's watch my screen. So go here, I'm going to upload it as unlisted so that you guys in this stream can watch it back if you want to. I'll post a link once it's done uploading. So let's see, that's for BK Live. We're going to go to our desktop, Philadelphia 2018, edits, quick drone edit, upload. Now I've got some really quick upload speeds. I hope this doesn't mess with the stream. So this 4K video, short, 50 seconds, is going to upload really quickly. I'm going to name it just quick drone edit, honestly, for BK Live. So there we are. And now after this is all done, I've got all of my tags in here. I've got my description, and I pretty much put that under my upload default. So this is always up there no matter what I upload. I'm just going to leave it there. Sometimes I edit it for certain videos. Let's say I don't mention anything about the iPhone. I'll just delete them out. But just for now, I'm going to leave all this. Custom thumbnail, I choose here. I'm going to choose thumbnail.jpg. Choose, should take a couple of seconds to upload, and boom, there we are. We're basically done. I've got this link right now. I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to throw this here in the chat for you guys to check it out. So Command V, boom, you guys can check it out. It's still rendering here. It's still processing, so give it about 35 seconds, and you guys can go ahead and click on that link. Let's see what other people are saying. At the present time, there's no reason for a recreational pilot to get the Part 107 certification. That's what Dennis says. Okay, I'm not asking whether or not I need it. But okay, so he's just talking about the Part 107. Tech Reviewer 44 says, "Hey Billy, I was flying my Mavic today, and the settings were set to +0 sharpness, and I got a lot of noise. Can you address this?" So Tech Reviewer 44, your ISO might be a little bit too high. That creates noise. So make sure ISO, if you're shooting in the day, is like 100, 200, anywhere between there. And you can try bumping up the sharpness. For some reason, the Mavic Pro's camera sometimes just like a hit or miss. Like sometimes I love the image or I hate the image. It's all about the drone. So go ahead and try to bump up the sharpness within your video. The Phantom 4 Pro is perfectly crisp for me, so I never usually have to change anything. But if you guys want to, you can add sharpness. So this video is done processing. Again, I threw that link over in the chat. If you guys want to go ahead and check it out, it should be pretty good. I'm actually going to go ahead and watch it now just to make sure it looks nice. It's probably going to be like really low quality. Pretty good. What is it, like 360. That gimbal messing up is going to kill me every time I watch this video. That vertigo effect is cool. Alright, so that's basically it. You guys, if you want to go ahead and check that out, again, I threw the link over there in the chat. Looks like we've only got 34 people watching now. I know it's kind of a boring video, kind of a boring stream, a little bit longer than the usual streams. I kind of expected that. But that's basically it. I mean, if you guys have got any questions at all, go ahead and throw them over in the chat. I'm going to be sitting here for probably about 5 more minutes. I'll answer some questions for you guys about any point of the process of me editing videos. I mean, if you guys have got questions about you know, like how I find my music, again, I told you guys, but if you got questions about that, if you got questions about you know, how I get my shots, go ahead and throw anything you guys have got. Joel Watson, come to Australia. Yo, Joel, you've got some pretty cool stuff over there in Australia, and I've definitely wanted to make the trip. But, God, it's like the longest flight you could possibly take. Really quickly, I'm going to try to switch myself over to the main camera, the full camera, and hopefully my audio is still in sync, although if it's not in sync, just let me know. Yeah, Troy, the vertigo effect was cool. You guys can try to implement that if you're like flying away from something. Crop in and zoom in as the video is moving out, or if you're zooming into something, zoom out. I mean, you guys understand what I mean. It does add a pretty cool effect, and it kind of like messes with your mind for a little bit. Let's see. Joel Watson, will you come to Australia? Joel, I'll try to make the trip out to Australia. I've wanted to just go because it looks beautiful. And also, I'm pretty sure you guys have like summer when we have winter here or something like that, I think. But yeah, so Perry says, not boring to me. I need editing practice. Yeah, Perry, everyone needs editing practice. I myself need editing practice. Editing tutorial videos is like a whole different ball game. That's really easy to me. It's just kind of like pasting it all together, overlaying stuff, blah, blah, blah. But editing drone videos, there's like infinite possibilities about what you can do. You got to structure your clips all together, you know. If you're kind of like building up to something, like let's say you're flying your drone around. I know this is like highly illegal, but let's say you're flying your drone around the White House, right? Oh God, I shouldn't even give this example. All right, let's say you're flying your drone on a mountain, right? And you want to build up to like the peak, like the part where like it's the most beautiful view. You want to save that for like a drop. You want to save that for maybe like 20-30 seconds in the video to hook your viewer. Have them watching for 20 seconds, say, yeah, this is cool, but then drop something that they're like, wow, I gotta watch the rest of this. That'd probably be my biggest thing. Melvin says, come to New Jersey, Billy. Yeah, I live in Pennsylvania. I'm pretty close. I was thinking about doing something, which I guess the 37 of you guys will hear this before the other 40-something thousand, although I know they're not all active. I would love to do like a meetup, like a fly, like something where like we could all meet up, we could fly our drones, have a good time, just like talk about it, but like, God, that could just like end in a total disaster. Having so many people fly their drones, like that would just be utter chaos. I don't know how many people would show up. Like if 10 people showed up, that'd be cool. That'd be easy to manage. But like, I've got no idea. I feel like most of the people that are subscribed to me are from the Philly area, are from like the tri-state area, and I don't know how far people are willing to drive, but like we could get some serious people flying drones at once. It would kind of be pretty cool to try to like make a video with all of our drones together, but I'd feel really bad if I was the reason that everyone met up and someone crashed their drone. I'd feel really bad. If you come to Virginia, I'll take you all around northern or DC and Northern Virginia. I was just in DC actually, looking at the cherry blossoms. That was a lot of fun. Eli says, if you edit off of your MacBook SSD, then how do you move files and stuff back and forth between your external Lacy dock? So Eli, I'll answer that question really quickly here for you. So I'll hide this. I'll quit out of Photoshop. I don't need that anymore. I will quit out of Final Cut Pro. I don't need that anymore. So if you see right now, I've got my Lacy drive plugged in right here. It's the 10 terabyte drive, and I've got a bunch of these different like archives. And usually I'll go through and add them to my travel archives, but just for sake of I guess an example, what I'll do is from my desktop over here, I'll find the folder Philadelphia 2018. I'll take that, drag it over to drive 1, drop it in there. And it's going to take a little bit to transfer, so let's see. It's actually transferring pretty quickly here. I'll drag this over to my other... Oh, God, you guys can't even see me. Oh, man, that was a total flop. All right, hold on. I'm going to switch over for you guys. All right, here. Now you guys can see what I'm seeing. Okay, so I'm going to delete that because that's what I just transferred. Okay, so right now, over here in the side, as you can see, I've got my 10 terabyte Lacy drive connected. I've also got the micro SD card. I'll eject that because I transferred all the files over. But as you guys can see here, I've got all of my archives. And just for an example, within Philadelphia 2018 on my desktop, I'll drag this folder, I'll grab it, throw it over to drive 1, which is that Lacy drive that I use. I made a video on that. And right now you guys can see it's transferring. It's transferring pretty quickly, actually. It's only about 4 gigabytes. So once all of that is transferred now over to that drive, I can delete it off of my computer because it's on the drive. Right now, once this is done again, I'm going to have 2 separate copies. All right, Eli just said we can't see. Hopefully it's all caught up. But yeah, so I just switched over for you guys. Okay, so now I've got Philadelphia 2018 here on my desktop. You can see I've got desktop selected, and I've got DJI Phantom 4 Pro, edits, Panasonic G7. I've got everything I need. The total folder size is like 4.95. And before deleting that, I'll go over to this hard drive, find the file, and make sure everything that I need is inside of here. Make sure it's the same size, nothing is corrupted. And once everything has transferred from my desktop, I'll hit Command Delete. It gets added to my junk folder, or added to my trash, and then from there, just empty the trash can, which I don't know what I've got in there, so I'm not going to just go ahead and delete it. But you guys get the point. I've transferred now over to my Lacy drive just by dragging it over there, and now I can delete it off of my actual hard drive on my computer. Tech Reviewer 44, what is your favorite drone? What are your favorite drone accessories? Oh God, I don't use many drone accessories. I would say my favorite drone accessory is the ND filters. I mean, that's probably like my favorite accessory. It gives you so much functionality. I've got a really cool video on ND filters coming out later this week about, you guys will just have to wait and see it. It's going to be really cool. It's these new ND filters that Polar Pro came out with. They're like top notch. Any thoughts on a circular polarizer for a Mavic Air? Yeah, so if you add a polarizer to your Mavic Air, it's not going to hurt you. In fact, I'd recommend always keeping something in front of the Mavic Air's glass just because there's no clear protector over the front of it, and if you scratch up the front, then that's pretty much game over. You got to send it back and get that replaced because you can't just buy a new UV filter. So if you guys want to, you can always go ahead and buy a new one, or you guys can buy something to cover that. They've got like clear protective filters. Okay, yeah, Melvin says, Billy, we can take turns flying our drones. Yeah, okay, so maybe I'll do this meetup thing. We'll see how it works. And of course, you know, later in the summer when maybe it's a little bit nicer out, maybe also when there's no rain. Oh my God, it's been raining for like ever. All right, guys. 36 of you watching. You guys are the real OGs. It looks like the peak concurrent was at like, I think like 81 or something like that. But again, thank you all of you guys for watching. It really does mean the world to me. I'm going to switch over back here to the main camera. Let me know what you guys think about like this tutorial style live session, like live stream, I guess. It seems like I didn't get the numbers that I wanted on this stream, like the numbers as of last time. But again, I know it's helpful to a lot of people. So if you guys want to suggest some different topics, I did a little poll on YouTube, asked you guys what you wanted to see, and a lot of you guys wanted to see my drone workflow. So you guys got to see it. I'll put out another poll probably a little bit before my next stream, which again is not going to be next week. It's going to be the week after that. I'm going to take like a week break. I won't be in town. But I'm going to put up another poll, see what you guys want me to talk about in the stream. And if I find something where like I need to talk about it, maybe I'll just make the decision myself. So anyway, guys, thank you guys for watching again. And as always, I'll talk to you later. Peace.